files that if I'm ever like at a youth retreat or if I'm ever caught somewhere or I need to waste, I have. And so those movies are.
Can I guess?
I'd love you to guess.
All right. And just Kramer vs. Kramer, Dr. Zhivago, and Wayne's World 2.
Okay, so those are 3 movies that I own, not 3 movies on my computer.
Yeah.
My 3 movies on my computer are the movies I can watch at any point in time, and they always make me happy. And so one is Deep Blue Sea.
Whoa. You have that on your
computer at all times.
Wow.
Deep Blue Sea, The Beastmaster, starring Mark Singer, and Coal Miner's Daughter, starring Sissy Spacek.
Interesting.
And have you seen Coal Miner's Daughter recently?
I have not. Not recently.
So it's amazing. But there's this moment where Tommy Lee Jones is trying to ask for Loretta Lynn's hand in marriage. So he goes to ask her dad, and his dad says, "Ask her ma." And then he goes to the mom, and she goes, "Ask the dad." And he goes back and forth like 8 times. And like they're in different rooms in the same house, and he's walking through the living room. And that to me is like, I took that as like, oh, my wife and I need to be on the same page when we parent our kids, or this is going to happen.
Oh, so that taught you some good lessons.
Taught me some good lesson. And then the culmination of that scene was in the middle of the night, he burst into their bedroom and he's like, "I need to catch you both in the same place at the same time." It's amazing.
And then can we move on to Deep Blue Sea? I just want to pitch something to you. So,
hit me with it.
Someone who has joined this podcast several times, he's the head of the Lamb. I've joined that podcast, but he did our Home Alone and Encino Man episodes. We're going to do an Airheads episode soon. But
nice.
so Jay Cluett says that Deep Blue Sea is the second best Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, 100%.
And then if I did some stupid math, and I figured out
that
if you combine all the critical scores of the Jaws movies, Deep Blue Sea is better than the whole series.
Yeah, no, on average, absolutely.
Yeah, so Deep Blue Sea, all right, let's say you don't, all right, how about this? You love Jurassic Park, right? And you love Jaws, but you don't want to watch Jaws 2 through 4, and you don't want to watch any of the Jurassic Parks. Just watch Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, or just watch Deep Blue Sea. Period. Don't need to go any further than that. Just watch.
I think just watching Jaws and Jurassic Park is awesome too.
Yes. Jurassic Park is pretty tight and it holds up. Like it still looks perfect today.
Oh yeah, we did a podcast earlier this year and I watched it again, and I was a little. You know what's weird? So whenever I think about Jurassic Park, I think about it fondly, but when I watch it, I just wow, this is great. Does that make sense?
You get lost in it.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that you don't think about, at least for me, until I watch it again. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, 100%.
My favorite part in this movie, though, I want to jump to something. So the Native American guy shows up. Ed Harris has that weird vision. They have that really great brawl. But during the final battle, when he pops a wheelie and knocks a lance in half to save Alan, the lecherous Alan, that was amazing.
That's my favorite part as well.
Wasn't that? I watched that scene. I'm like, this guy's my hero.
So that was like his redeeming moment where I was like, this is a hero.
That guy's awesome, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fantastic.
What a great, oh man, that dude was cool. He became my favorite character in the movie. Just following around Ed Harris.
Yeah, no, it's weird the like cult leader that Ed Harris was without trying to be.
Oh, that's interesting. So you have people who build cults based on their charisma because they want to have power. Right. Ed Harris built, well, everyone kind of had, it wasn't really cultish because everyone had their own minds, but everyone just followed him when he wasn't out there picking people up, and he wasn't out preaching to them.
No, he wasn't making a cult, but if one morning he woke up and decided to have a cult, he would have.
Those baby blues of Ed Harris and those guns.
Yeah, he would have said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave our motorcycles behind, and we're going to go and do X, Y, or Z. I'd say at least 75% of that group goes with him. Like Tom Savini won't without motorcycles, and Angie won't. She can't fix a motorcycle, but they were believing in him as the king more than motorcycles.
So during this time though, he's more of the figurehead, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting. I want to see a movie with him and Chris Hemsworth character from Bad Times at the El Royale.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this is Ed Harris' second movie, and he was 30. And the command, that scene though, right, where he just starts crying in front of...
He's got range in this.
When he cries, and when he's yelling at the cop, I'm like, this second movie. I guess everyone on set was just awed by the dude.
Yeah. So who would you cast as Billy if they redid this in 2019? Then the movie where you play Morgan and I play Alan, because that's
you want to be lecherous Alan?
Oh, I think I'm such a nice guy in real life. I like to play a villain in plays and acting. I was in a huge Easter production a few years ago, and I requested to be Judas.
You know what? Yeah, that's funny. I like it. All right, so I'm not going to say Michael Pena.
Okay, and I appreciate that because that would be the right joke to make. But I'm asking in a very serious movie, deserves a very serious lead. Who would you cast as the lead?
How old?
Again, that's open for interpretation because at this point in time, Ed Harris was 30 years old, which I think was old for a leading man.
But he had this maturity to him already.
Yep.
So you can't. All right, it's got to be.
So I'll tell you, my pick is older. An older choice.
All right, who you got?
I was going to pick Sam Elliott.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I'd quit everything. I was kind of thinking Chris Pine, but I don't know.
Work. I think that's just because you want Megan to watch the movie with you.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to mention the other name. And then, but I'm also thinking maybe, I know I'm going against type, but like Vikander, Alicia Vikander. I think she has like a presence that you would just sort of follow.
And it may be too on the nose because of Sons of Anarchy, but Ron Perlman, I think, could have worked it off, done it.
He's kind of gruff. Ed Harris had like a delusional warmth to him, right?
Well, I say he is essentially Captain America in the 80s. Like, if you put the shield on him, I would have believed it.
Dude, I got it.
Talk to me.
Oscar Isaac.
Yep, that's the one. That's the role.
I mean, right?
Yep. No questions asked.
I saw it, so I was racking my brain. I was going Vikander, then I was thinking Donald Gleason and from Ex Machina, and then I went right to Oscar Isaac.
Now, if when this happens, do you ride motorbikes? Do you know how to ride a bike?
When I was 18 years old, I was riding around on a motorcycle in flip-flops, shorts, and a shirt in Florida, and I had a mailbox flipped over it. The mailbox rolled over, landed on my leg, hurt my knee real bad, burned my leg. I put rubbing alcohol onto the massive burn, which I still have.
Don't do that.
The scar.
Don't do that.
Then I wrapped it in toilet paper. Then I got into my dirty Burger King outfit and went to work. And while I was at the fryer, I didn't notice, but blood had poured down my leg and had soaked my sock, and my manager saw it. She freaked out. She was like, go home. I'm like, why? I need money. She's like, no, you can't work like that. So I got sent home, realized that the toilet paper had stuck to my leg because of the blood. Yeah. And I was limping really badly, and I had toilet paper glued to this massive burn on my leg, and it was that day I decided to stop. And I've also, I was riding a dirt bike, and I rode into a tree. I took a four-wheeler into a house. I rode a moped into a ditch. So I think I'm going to make you not play Morgan. I think you're going to direct this movie. I am not Morgan. I am not Morgan. You do not put me on a bike. I could see. No. All right. No. So I guess I would be. Which character would I like the most? Who's that cool guy that's never on a bike? He's always just kind of sitting by a bike. Remember
Little John?
No. Remember when the dude is camping and Ed Harris steals his bike? And they're like, oh, he took your bike.
Yeah.
That's the guy who gives him the speech about you're picking up all these long hairs and how much does beef cost.
Wasn't that Punch? Wasn't his name Punch?
No. Maybe that was Punch. I don't know if that was. I like him because he was just. I don't know. I like that guy. I thought he was pretty cool. I thought he was. I couldn't be a Merlin. I'm no Merlin.
No, and Merlin?
Yeah, Merlin.
He's fantastic. Like, I would cast that guy as Merlin in a period piece about King Arthur.
Do you know who that guy is, Merlin?
Brother Blue?
Yeah, Brother Blue. And he taught at Harvard, and he's a performer, storyteller, where they said he took he knows all these Shakespearean plays, he translated them into modern language, and he goes around performing them. And he would send George Romero postcards from all of his travels around the world performing.
Yeah, because he wasn't in any other movies, was he?
No, he just saw him and was like, I like him.
Yeah, because he seemed really like a part of the scenery more than an actor, and he just seemed to exist within this world.
See, no, you know what though? I'd be the cop. I'd be the jerk cop. I would love to be a jerk cop.
The whole time I was watching this, so there's two jerk cops. There's the skinny cop and the big cop.
Yeah.
I kept thinking the big cop looks like Seth Rogen's older brother.
Yep, I could see that, and he gets beat up later on.
He sure does.
And the lady, it costs $63. That's my math. So there's a fight scene later on where Ed Harris loses his, Morgan becomes king. He beats out lecherous Alan, and Ed Harris goes to a restaurant and beats up the cop, and just they lives him throughout an entire restaurant. That fight in Super Troopers, they actually showed it. That's what this was. And everyone's clapping, and he just beats the living daylights out of a cop. But I wonder what would happen to a gun if placed in a fryer. Bullets might explode, right? Gunpowder?
They might explode. I don't. It depends how hot they get, because they're sealed, so the gunpowder's not. There's no flame there, so if they get to the combusting temperature, I think a bullet in a fryer would be pretty safe. But you couldn't shoot the gun afterwards, because all that grease would be jamming the barrel and it would blow up in your hand.
Yeah, that'd be done. I love that all the time he's beating him up, the lady's charging about how much it costs. And then the Native American guy with Ed Harris, he never has a name, correct? That guy's never given a name. So
in the credits, his name is Indian.
Oh, great. Yeah, Billy faces an Indian rider with a black eagle crest on his breastplate. So let's call him Eagle. So he just pays that lady with like a silver piece.
Yeah. So Brother Blue is dead right now. He died in 2009.
Oh, the commentary we listened to, I think, was 2001, before Land of the Dead.
But he's primarily an oral storyteller. Like, you just go around in these kind of like troops and just tell people stories. It's amazing.
He's like, have you watched Ballad of Buster Scruggs? He's the version of that, a much better version of that guy. And he didn't get Liam Neeson.
Did not get Liam Neeson.
But
fantastic. Fantastic.
This movie, though, I went from knowing nothing about it, right?
Yeah.
You and I are probably in the top 1% of people who know everything about it now. I listened to the commentary, watched the movie, found every article I could.
Yeah, I did. I went deep hole here, and I looked up Knightriders fan groups, because I want to go to a traveling party, but all I could really find was fans of like Knight Rider, the black car show.
Oh,
but there needs to be a Knightriders club somewhere. It's too obscure not to have it.
Oh, they're out there. They're just probably not on the internet.
They just have local mailers in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's too good. This is a good movie, right?
This is a good movie. This isn't like a drive-in exploitation grindhouse picture. This is a good movie that really tried.
Now, I do have to say, putting on my studio executive hat, he received a lot of freedom after Dawn of the Dead with United Artists. So he made this, he made another movie that I forget, and then he made Day of the Dead, and none of them really performed too well at the box office. But if you were financing this movie and you gave George Romero complete autonomy to make whatever he wanted, and he showed you this movie at 2.5 hours, as a studio executive, how would you feel?
Well, here's what I'm saying. His budget was $1 million. Yeah. So I don't think it's going to take that much to make $1 million back.
True.
Like in 81, how many movies were produced per month in 81 versus 2019? Oh,
I mean, much less.
So there's not a whole lot of choices out there.
Because the home video market, all right, if you think about who did Electric Boogaloo, all the people responsible for Missing in Action.
The Cannon film guys, yeah.
They weren't even around yet. Now there were Corman. Corman was churning out drive-through movies, right?
Yeah, he was honestly, I love Corman. He was making tripe.
Yeah, and he was making the first movie for double headers at a drive-in, right? So this movie, there's no VHS market.
No.
Man, I would have marketed this as an action adventure, and I would have disappointed audiences.
Yeah.
Oh man, but how do you market a 2.5-hour character study about a traveling Renaissance fair and its delusional founder?
You know what I think you do? I think you market it as a medieval movie and let the experience that I had watching it, with that motorcycle reveal, mean something.
Ooh.
Just market it as Knightriders, a tale of love and romance and betrayal. And then only strategically have trailer shots where it just looks like a medieval movie. And then boom, you go there, watch it, and you're blown away.
But even the tagline of this isn't very good. The games, the romance, the spirit, Camelot is a